Patterson. Broadus, I forget his real name. I think it's Cordell Broadus Jr.
Well, I remember that he made this big thing. It was actually kind of funny when they were like, "Oh, I'm going to either go to ITT Tech or MCI." He made some kind of
and he stiff armed Texas. He was supposed to at one time he was getting recruited by Texas, and then he put that out, and I think he was really close to going to Texas and then went to UCLA instead. I forget the kid's name, but I know who you're talking about.
But
he was running back. Yeah,
I think he was a linebacker and running back.
Yes,
but I think when he was going to UCLA, he was going to be a defensive player.
Right.
Yeah. But he also was the one that got caught running from the police on his prom date.
Yes,
night of prom.
Snoop Dogg's son or the guy from Plano?
No, this guy from Plano.
Yeah.
I can't remember the kid's name, and guess what? Doesn't really matter.
That name starts with a J, I believe. Jumbo, something like that.
I don't remember his name. He's not doing anything, so.
Very true.
Yeah.
Why am I even talking about him?
Positive and notable. But.
Right. So, once again, just typical Dave Carson stuff. Let me go ahead and when you're down, let me go ahead and beat you down just a little bit more. I'm really good at that. So.
The Dave Carson ramble.
Exactly. But Alabama is clearly cut number one.
Yeah.
Clemson, I thought they should be number two, but
I think you could make a case for Clemson being number one, honestly. They beat Florida State. They beat Louisville. No, Florida State's down, but they're always a good team.
It was a tough game.
They beat Louisville. They beat Auburn.
Right.
Who else? They've played some quality teams. Alabama's played quality teams too, but I mean, Clemson just beat Florida State from behind last week.
At Florida State.
Right.
So
that's not easy to do at all.
No. So when it comes down to the last Big Ten game of the year, Michigan, Ohio State.
That winner's probably going into the playoffs.
Ohio State. Let's say Ohio State wins that game. Who does the committee select then?
I would go Ohio State because
it was a close game to Penn State, so it wasn't like it was
Yeah, and Michigan they haven't really had. Who have they played? They played Michigan State last week, who are having a down year. They're not.
They really
very
haven't
good.
played anybody.
Who have they played? They haven't played anybody. I know and Ohio State's played Oklahoma. Non-conference game, Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma's down too. They're still a really good team, but they played Oklahoma, and that was like 2-3 at the time.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold prediction.
Oklahoma bold prediction.
Bold, not bold. Bold. BOLD.
Bold.
Ballsy.
But not bald.
That's exactly what came to mind. The ball prediction by David Carson.
Oklahoma State beats OU in Bedlam.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is it at Stillwater or Norman?
I don't care where it's at.
Ooh.
I think it's in Stillwater, but I'm calling that one right now.
Oklahoma's got some firepower. I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
But.
Now, did you guys see the story today with Mixon?
Suspended.
He got suspended.
One game.
You know why?
Because he got a parking ticket.
And he ripped it up in front of the cop's face. Yeah.
Well, the report was that earlier they were saying that he punched the cop. I'm like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You don't punch a cop.
He's kicked off the team if he punches the cop.
But what happened is he's sat out a year because
domestic violence. So
yeah.
The kid's a problem. He's had previous issues. So
okay, this is me being me again. Well, if he gets kicked out of Oklahoma, Baylor will probably pick him up right away.
Your top two colleges.
Guess what? I'm brewing that up right now, aren't I? Oh, I'm waiting for that segment.
The Kool-Aid there.
That's right. That's right.
So, they probably already reached out to him right now.
Hey, you're our kind of player.
You're always welcome.
We like your
here,
mentality.
There,
you like your no nonsense mentality.
If when in doubt, just knock him out.
Yeah.
No. First off, we here at Sex Strangers, we do not advocate domestic violence at all. But we will joke about it to a certain extent. But it's not funny. But we're sorry for the joke that we made, and hopefully that you'll take it to heart, knowing that we're just three guys here sitting around talking around, having a good time. These are conversations that you'll probably have in your own living room.
Right.
Conversations you'll have in a bar, and some things you'll just kind of like turn your head and like, oh wow, I can't believe they actually said that. And believe it or not, that's what really sells radio, and that's what we're here to do, is kind of give ourselves into radio.
Right.
And Kirk, any other things you have to say about the
no,
college football season?
No, none so far. I mean, this weekend's got some good games. Just got a quick preview.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me what games are you looking at?
Ohio State and Nebraska are playing each other.
Okay.
Ohio State's ranked number 6. Nebraska's number 10. Just another one of those teams. Like, I'm a notorious Ohio State hater, but I'll give them credit. They give themselves some tough schedules and some tough teams in their conference and out of conference.
Right. And you know what? And I'm finally glad to see that some of these teams are starting out the season with tough games.
I like it.
And I applaud Oklahoma.
It's great as a fan. It's great to be able to see, teams that you normally wouldn't see face off at the beginning of the season. It's great for the
really
sport.
Cool.
No, I didn't expect that Oklahoma-Houston game to be as good as it was. I didn't expect I was expecting OU to go ahead and mop the floor with them.
That's your overrated university, talking coming out.
Exactly. Yeah. And Texas and Notre Dame, that one actually lived up to the hype.
It did.
And there was a couple other games that lived up to the hype. I think Clemson didn't they?
LSU, Wisconsin. I don't know if y'all saw that one. That was in Lambeau.
Right.
That was a good game. Wisconsin beating LSU in a 16-13 match. I mean, that was solid non-conference. Big. I love it when the big powerhouse conferences schedule with against each other like that. Big Ten, SEC.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because technically, if you're going to take a loss, it's better to take a loss at the beginning of the season than at the end of the season.
Look at Oklahoma last year. They lost to Texas, rebounded, made the playoff.
Oh, don't even get it. How can you lose to a non-ranked team and still make the Final Four?
It's very painful being
my bold
went
prediction.
to the game this year.
I'll give you a bold prediction.
Go ahead.
Oklahoma makes the playoff again this year.
Oh.
Well, Big 12 got hardly any love in the committee, so
why?
We'll see.
There's nothing to love.
Exactly.
So
West Virginia, they're
really,
so great.
you're going to make a prediction on Oklahoma with me in the room?
You may not make it out of this room there, Kirk.
I hope that's. I'm going to be the devil advocate for y'all, for all y'all's teams. So
okay,
get ready for that kind of stuff.
Not a problem. I mean, I don't like Oklahoma, but
yeah. I mean, I you know what? That's kind of bold. Really bold because I'm starting to like Texas more. Shane Michelle, I think, is a Heisman candidate for the next.
And me and
2
David's
years.
talked about this. We're over that whole 18-wheeler package.
Yeah,
it's just,
man, it was nice.
We'll bring that in later on if we have time.
Okay.
We'll bring a Texas segment in.
Okay.
Because I think Deontay Foreman is really being overlooked.
Yes.
I think that is a Heisman type running back that's not
His
getting any talk.
His brother's a wide receiver.
Armani, yeah.
And where are they from?
Texas City, baby.
Represent.
David Carson's hometown.
Are welcome. Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessories store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Visit us for sewing, embroidery, and t-shirt printing services. Airbrush services by our friends at Kingdom Custom Creations are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
One of my good friends, Gavin Mitchell. He is part of the Gavin Mitchell Show. You can find him on Spreaker. You can also find him with the Conservative Cartel with his friend Matt Locke, and that is the Conservative Cartel on Spreaker. Also, Gavin Mitchell, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, brother. Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, we've been talking about having you come on this show for quite some time, and it's finally going to happen. And here we are. So tonight is Game 7 of the World Series. You being a former umpire, is there a certain protocol that you go through before a game with the coach?
With the coach,
or with your career, or whatever?
Yeah, well, I'll kind of tell you about my pregame routine, and it stayed the same from rookie ball all the way up.
Okay.
Umpires don't have to show up at 3:00 for batting practice or fielding practice or whatever you have to go through, conditioning, things like that. We show up about an hour before the game, sometimes an hour and a half, and we'll go to the locker room. If it's our first day in a town, we'll unpack our cases, okay, our bags, get our gear up, let things dry out from the night before, because oftentimes you leave a city, you throw everything into your bag, you travel.
Right.
And if you're in the big leagues, your case will meet you there. If you're in the minor leagues, you take your bag with you. Things don't always get a chance to dry out from the night before, from sweating, things like that. And so the first night in, you get everything organized the way you want it to be. And normally about 40 minutes before the game, I would get into my I'm going to use the term underwear, but it's not underwear. It's everything I would wear underneath the uniform you see, like an undershirt, things like that. And I'd begin to stretch because you've got to move, and you got to move quickly, because a lot of times when you're rotating, you're racing professional athletes to get to the next bag. And so you got to be loose. You got to be ready to go. And then about 20 minutes, I'd start getting dressed and start getting my mind right. We'd turn the TV off. We'd start getting ready to go to work, because it is professional baseball. You never know when the next call might cost somebody their career, might make somebody's career, might cost the team their season, whatever the case is. So you've got to be on point.
Hey, Gavin, this is Kirk. I'm a special guest on the Texas Strangers right now. And, being the World Series Game 7, does big games, does your call of the game ever change from just game 100 or Game 7?
In theory, no. It's not supposed to. Whether it's opening day or you're in the dog days of summer, mid-September, where you're counting down the days to where you get to go home, because you have to remember, umpires don't have home stands, right? They don't get to play half their season at home. You're like a third team with your own schedule, but no stadium or no city to call home. And so you start counting down the days. It gets long, it gets hard, you start missing home. It doesn't matter how nice the beds are, whether it's a rookie ball motel or a big league hotel.
Right.
Your bed is not your bed at some point. And so you begin to miss home, but you have to remember, you're getting paid a lot of money to watch the best in the world do what they're best at. Right. And there are a lot of people that would kill for that. And it turns into a job. I'm not going to sit here and fib to you and say, it's all rainbows and unicorns all the time. That's simply not true. There are days you would just wish it would rain so you could have a day off. But when it comes to jobs, it's one of the best jobs in the world. It really is. And so as far as you hope you have this professional integrity about yourself, that whether it's 15-1 in the fourth, in the middle of July between two teams that are already out of the race, or Game 7 of the World Series, you hope your professional integrity would kick in. Now that's theory. The fact of the matter is that I'll put it this way. I've never worked a World Series. I've never been in a Game 7 of a World Series, but I've spoken, and I have a lot of friends that have. And there was one guy that was in the big leagues, and he worked a Game 5.
Okay.
It was his first World Series, worked the plate for Game 5. And the story is he came back into the locker room, set his mask down, took off his chest protector, and sat down. He goes, "My God, that was fun, but I hope I never have to do it again."
Wow. I would think that would be such an honor to be part of a World Series and say, wow, I don't want to do that again. It must have been high pressure.
It is an honor, but I'll tell you this. With my time in Venezuela and then here in the States, I have seen some of the best umpires I've known. Something happens to people when you see that little red light on that camera go on in center field. When you know the world's watching and you're on TV and they're going to commentate on SportsCenter about your performance if you screw up. Because umpires, you have to start out perfect and get better as the game goes on.
Okay.
Right? You do a good job when you're not noticed.
Exactly.
And so if you get noticed, it's a bad thing. And there's something about that pressure that I've seen it break guys. I've seen incredible umpires that when they get to that big